Okay, get this. Imagine like, okay, the internet. But instead of just, going on it,
Yeah.
you're actually connected to it, like directly. Your brain, right to the digital world.
It's pretty wild, right? We're talking about the brain internet, and it's not just some, far-off sci-fi thing.
Not anymore, no.
No, not anymore.
We've got these articles like from crm.org and this whole deep dive thing from NeuroChain and this post from Helga Pluto X, like, got me thinking.
Yeah, and it's all about brain-computer interfaces, BCIs.
BCIs, right.
And how we can use them to, connect our minds to the digital world. It's a lot, I know, but we're going to break it down.
Yeah, break it down, starting with like how these BCIs, how they even work. I mean, it's a direct line from your brain to a computer. How's that even possible?
Yeah, so think of BCIs like a translator for your brain, but two ways.
Two ways.
Two ways. They read your brain waves, those electrical signals.
Right.
Yeah, the ones your brain cells use to like talk to each other.
Right, yeah.
They translate them, into commands a computer gets.
So you can, control a device with just thinking?
Exactly. And it can even go the other way too, right? Send information back to your brain, like create sensory experiences.
Whoa, hold on. Are we talking about like mind reading here?
Not quite mind reading, not yet. But it is, getting close. For now, BCIs, they're mostly used in medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they can help stroke patients, get back motor function.
Oh, wow.
Or amputees. They can control prosthetic limbs, like super precisely.
Yeah.
And even in gaming, it's opening up all these new possibilities.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's like life-changing for people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this whole brain internet thing, this is going way beyond that, right? Like connecting to the internet, not just, one device.
Like it's the next step.
Yeah.
The next step.
We're talking about your brain interacting with data, other minds,
Oh.
all in real time, like constant flow between your mind and the digital world. But I mean, that brings up some pretty serious questions, right? I mean, security, privacy, all that.
Some huge questions.
Huge, because if we're going to connect our brains to the internet, I mean, we have to know our thoughts, our data, all that, it's protected.
Absolutely. And that's where blockchain comes in.
Blockchain, like Bitcoin.
You got it.
Okay, yeah.
But blockchain is way bigger than just Bitcoin. It's really, it's a secure digital ledger.
Ledger.
Yeah, think of it like a record of information, but it's not stored in one place. It's spread out across a bunch of computers, a whole network.
Oh, I see. So it's like way harder to mess with.
Exactly. No one can just, hack in and change things.
So it's not just, one company protecting your data. It's like the whole system.
Exactly. And that's why researchers are looking at blockchain for the brain internet, for keeping it safe.
Keep the brain internet safe, yeah.
There's even this paper from ScienceDirect. They propose a blockchain security module specifically for BCIs.
A security module,
Wow.
like for your brain.
Yeah, basically. Like a digital shield, protecting your brain data.
A shield, wow.
Could make a secure connection between your BCI, like your headset or whatever,
Right.
to the internet. And because it's blockchain, no one can hack it.
No one. So even if someone tried, they couldn't get my brain data
Right.
because it's not like all in one place.
That's the idea, yeah. And the paper talks about real-time monitoring too, like super important.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Because, I mean, think about it. If someone hacked your BCI,
Mm-hmm.
they could get to your thoughts, your memories, like everything.
Whoa, that's a lot.
This module, it'd be like a guard,
Mhm.
watching all the time, stopping anyone from getting in.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. But I gotta ask, I mean, this brain internet, it's gonna create so much data. Like, are there even systems that can handle all that?
That's a great question. And, well, there is one platform that people are, really looking at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's called NeuroChain.
NeuroChain, okay.
Yeah. And it's basically blockchain, but with some AI thrown in. They call it an intelligent ecosystem.
Okay, so it's not just, security, it's about managing all the information, too.
Exactly. NeuroChain it's built to be faster, more efficient than regular blockchain. Because we're talking about a ton of data from all these brains.
Right, a ton. So it's like AI working with blockchain to keep our brain data safe and organized.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
Okay, so how does the AI actually, help the blockchain here?
Well, they use these AI-driven bots.
Bots. Okay.
And these bots, they don't just, record stuff. They actually analyze it, make decisions, even solve problems, like in real time.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. But okay, AI managing a network of brains. I mean, doesn't that raise some ethical questions.
Oh, it definitely does. And we are going to get into all of that later in this deep dive. But first, there's this other crazy concept I want to talk about. The idea of individual brains becoming nodes in a blockchain network. Like, whoa.
So, okay, we've got these BCIs translating brainwaves and blockchain, keeping it all secure. And then the AI managing all that information, it's a lot, right?
It is, yeah. A lot to take in.
But, I mean, before we get too into the tech stuff, we gotta, talk about the ethical side of all this.
Oh, absolutely.
Connecting our devices, that's one thing, but, I mean, our minds, that's a whole other level.
It is, yeah. We're talking about, really personal information, thoughts, emotions, memories, all of that.
All of it, yeah.
If we're going to connect our brains to the internet, we got to be really careful. Like, who has access to all that data?
Right.
How's it being used?
Right, exactly. Privacy, that's a huge concern.
Huge, yeah.
Imagine some company or even the government could just get into your thoughts.
Yeah.
Without you even knowing. That's scary.
It is, yeah. And it's not just about, keeping people out. It's about what if the system gets hacked?
Oh, right.
What happens then? Could someone, steal your memories? Or, I don't know, implant false thoughts? Mess with your emotions?
Whoa. Okay, that's getting a little too Black Mirror for me.
Right. And these are, real questions we got to figure out before this technology, gets out there.
Okay, so this is where that blockchain security module thing comes in, right?
Exactly.
Because it's spread out, like you said, it's harder for hackers to get to.
Way harder. Blockchain, it's way more secure than those old, centralized systems.
Okay, that's good. But even then, I mean, there's always a risk, right?
There is, yeah. And it's not just about, one person's privacy or their security. There's, bigger societal stuff to think about, too.
Okay, so, zoom out a bit. What kind of impact could this brainernet have on, everyone?
Well, one thing is it could create this whole new digital divide.
Digital divide.
Yeah, imagine some people, they can afford these brain implants, right? They can access the full brain internet, enhance their abilities.
And then others can't.
Exactly. It's it could make inequality even worse, a whole new kind of discrimination.
So it's a two-tiered society, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The connected and the unconnected.
Yeah.
And the gap between them, it's not just about information anymore. It's their abilities, their potential.
Right, exactly. And then there's, governments, corporations, what could they do with this? Could they, I don't know, monitor our thoughts, control our behavior?
Oh, come on. That's thought police stuff.
I know. It sounds crazy, but it's a possibility. And that's why this sandbox testing idea, it's so important.
Right. The safe space.
Yeah. A place to, experiment with all this before it, gets out in the real world.
Okay, but how would that even work?
Well, think of it like a controlled environment, right? Researchers, they can try different PCIs, different security stuff, different ways of using the technology.
So it's a virtual playground for the brainernet.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. A place where we can, make mistakes, learn from them, but without actually hurting anyone.
Okay, I like that. So we can set some ground rules before we go full brainernet on everyone.
Exactly. Figure out the ethics, the safeguards, make sure this thing is used responsibly.
But I mean, who gets to decide all that? And how do we even enforce it on a decentralized network?
That's the tricky part. It's going to take a global conversation, right? Scientists, ethicists, policymakers, everyone. We got to figure out the rules, but also, be flexible, adapt as the technology changes.
It sounds like a huge task.
It is. But it's crucial. If we want to use this brainernet thing right, without, giving up our privacy, our freedom, our humanity, all that.
Yeah, no, that's important. But it's not just about preventing the bad stuff, right? It's about making sure this brainernet is used for good.
You got it.
Well, what does that even mean? For good? What kind of positive impact could this have?
Well, imagine a world where, we could share knowledge instantly, download experiences right into our brains, collaborate on a global scale, solve problems, really complex ones.
Oh.
We could even, experience the world through each other's senses. It can change everything. Education, healthcare, research, art, everything.
Okay, that's a lot. That sounds amazing, but also kind of overwhelming. If we're always connected, wouldn't that be information overload?
Yeah, that's a valid point. We need to figure out how to manage all that information, protect our mental well-being.
Right.
But I do think the good stuff, it outweighs the risks.
Okay, so let's say we figure all that out. The privacy, the security, the ethical stuff, the information overload. then what? What does a brain net world actually look like?
That's the big question, isn't it? Exciting and a little scary. But to even start to imagine that future, we gotta look at how the brain internet could actually change things.
Hmm.
Like specific.
Okay, so let's get into that then. What are some of the biggest ways this could reshape the world? So we've talked about the tech, the ethics, all that. But what if we could actually make this brain net thing work? Like what would that world even look like?
It's hard to even imagine. I mean, the potential is just, it's huge. Think about communication, right? Like right now we're so limited by language, by, having to put our thoughts into words. But what if we could just like communicate directly, mind to mind?
Like instantly, no more like awkward pauses or misunderstandings.
Right. Some people even think, the brain internet could lead to like whole new ways of communicating, maybe even a universal language of thought.
Whoa, so we could share like emotions, experiences, all that in ways we can't even imagine right now.
Yeah, it's like telepathy, but global.
Global telepathy. Okay, that's a lot to process. But I mean, think about the implications, like for education, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. What if you could like download knowledge directly into your brain? No more, years of school, textbooks, all that.
Or like imagine experiencing a historical event, but like you're actually there
Yeah,
through someone else's senses.
exactly. It wouldn't just be facts in a book. It would be like a lived experience.
Yeah, lived experience. That's wild. And this whole idea of shared experiences, it could go way beyond education, right? Like what about entertainment?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine like going to a concert virtually, but you feel the energy of the crowd, the music, like you're actually there because you're experiencing it through someone else who is.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. But I mean, what about like work? How would the brain net change, how we work together?
I mean, the traditional workplace, it might not even exist anymore. We could have like whole new ways of working
Yeah.
based on, collective intelligence, shared knowledge.
Oh, wow.
Teams could like work on these super complex problems, share ideas instantly, be like all of our brains working together.
So instead of like brainstorming in a room, we'd be brainstorming like in a shared mental space.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of scary, but also really cool. But okay, doesn't that like bring up the question of individual creativity? Like, would we even be able to think for ourselves if we're all so connected?
That's a good question. I mean, would we become like a hive mind?
Right. All thinking the same things, but then again, maybe being connected to so many different minds, it could actually like spark new ideas. Like it's like having access to this global library of knowledge and inspiration.
Yeah, maybe. And it could lead to new art forms, new ways of expressing ourselves. Like imagine a symphony, but it's created by a network of minds,
Hmm.
or a painting that changes based on what the viewers are thinking.
Okay, yeah, the creative possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. But with all this talk about connection, we gotta talk about the potential for misuse. Like, what if someone used the brainernet to manipulate people?
Right, that's the big fear. Propaganda, thought control, all that.
Oh.
It's a real possibility. And that's why, like we talked about before, having those ethical guidelines, those safeguards, it's so important.
Yeah, so important. We have to make sure this technology is used to help people,
Yeah.
not to control them.
Absolutely. It's a tough balance. But, we're kind of at this turning point, a crossroads.
Yeah, like a pivotal moment for humanity.
Exactly. The choices we make now, they're going to shape the future of the brain internet. And maybe the future of humanity, period.
It's a lot of responsibility. But, I think the BrainerNet, it gives us this chance to connect with each other in a way we never have before, to solve problems, to reach our full potential.
That's the hope, right?
Mhm.
To use this technology to create a better world.
Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive, the tech, the potential, the ethical stuff, and it's clear we're just getting started. Like we're at the very beginning of this whole BrainerNet journey.
We are. And the path ahead, it's definitely uncertain.
But one thing's for sure, this whole thing, it makes us rethink our relationship with technology, with each other, with ourselves even. Like, what does it even mean to be human?
Big questions, big questions.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration of the BrainerNet. We hope it's, given you some things to think about. And, as we move forward, remember to keep asking questions, keep challenging the status quo, because
Right.
the future of the BrainerNet, it's in our hands.